My wife cheated. I still can't believe I'm saying those words. You never expect the person you've built your life around to betray you, let alone in the way she did. It wasn't just anyone. It wasn't some stranger, some nameless fling. She cheated with her own friend, a woman who had been in our house, sat at our table, laughed with me over dinner, someone I thought was family. That's the part that shattered me the most. It wasn't just betrayal. It was humiliation. I found out by accident. I came home early one night, and their laughter spilled out from upstairs. At first, I thought nothing of it. My wife often had her over, but the laughter turned into whispers, and whispers into something else. By the time I walked into the bedroom, I didn't need an explanation. The sight burned into me. My wife tangled up with the woman she called her best friend. They froze. I froze. No screaming, no shouting, just silence. My wife's eyes went wide, her friend scrambling for words. I didn't wait for excuses. I didn't want lies. I just turned around, walked downstairs, and sat in the living room until she finally came down, her face pale, shaking. She whispered, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean for you to find out this way." That line, that pathetic excuse, not sorry for what she did, just sorry I found out. That was the moment I realized she hadn't loved me for a long time. She had been living her life in secret, and I'd been the fool keeping the lights on, carrying the weight of our marriage. I left that night. I didn't pack much, just a bag and my dignity. What little of it I had left. But as I sat alone in my car, staring at the empty road, a thought hit me. She had taken what mattered to me, my trust, my love, my loyalty. But I still had power. I still had the choice to take everything she valued and walk away stronger. So that's exactly what I did. The first thing I took was my silence. I didn't fight. I didn't beg. I didn't even give her the satisfaction of my rage. She expected me to explode, to break down, to scream. Instead, I gave her nothing. I locked my pain inside and let her sit in her guilt. That silence was louder than any fight we could have had. The second thing I took was my future. I stopped letting her dictate my story. I hired a lawyer, filed for divorce, and made sure every asset, every piece of security we had built together was divided fairly, but smartly. I wasn't cruel, but I was precise. I made sure the house, the one thing she loved more than anything, would be mine to sell. The third thing I took was my pride. She thought she could humiliate me, but I refused to let her see me broken. I hit the gym. I poured myself into work. I rebuilt myself piece by piece, not for her, not for revenge, but for me. Every morning I woke up, pushed through the pain, and reminded myself, she doesn't get to define me. But the hardest part wasn't the silence, or the legal battles, or the long nights alone. It was facing the memories. Walking past the restaurants where we'd celebrated anniversaries, scrolling past the photos of trips we took, hearing songs that once belonged to us. Every memory felt poisoned, and yet, slowly, I realized something. Those memories were mine too. She couldn't erase the fact that I had loved fully, deeply, without holding back. Her betrayal didn't erase my capacity to love. It just proved she didn't deserve it. Months passed. The divorce was finalized. She tried calling a few times, leaving voicemails filled with tears. "I made a mistake," she said in one. I didn't know what I was doing, but by then I understood the truth. She wasn't crying for me. She was crying for what she lost, for the stability, the comfort, the loyalty I gave without question. She realized too late that no one else would ever love her the way I did, and when she begged for one last chance, I told her no. Calmly, firmly, I said, "You chose her. Now live with that choice. I choose me." That was the moment I knew I had taken back my power. She had thought her betrayal would break me. Instead, it freed me. It forced me to see the cracks I had been ignoring, the loneliness I had been living with, the pieces of myself I had given away without asking for anything in return. Today, I am stronger than I have ever been, not because I wanted this pain, but because I survived it. I walked through fire and came out the other side, scarred but unshaken. And she's left with the ashes of her own decisions. You see, betrayal has a way of teaching you what truly matters. It shows you the fragility of trust, the weight of loyalty, the cost of silence. But it also shows you your strength. It forces you to rebuild from the ground up, to decide whether you'll let the darkness swallow you or whether you'll step into the light. I chose the light. My wife cheated with her friend, thinking she could take everything from me. But in the end, I took back my dignity, my pride, and my future. And when I walked away, I wasn't broken. I was stronger because I refused to let her betrayal define me, stronger because I learned that sometimes the greatest revenge isn't payback, it's healing, stronger because I chose myself, and that choice is one no one can ever take from me.